Hello everyone, welcome to Mechanical Engineering Design and Innovation course. Myself Dr. P. Rajkumar, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Engineering Department. The topic for today's discussion is phases and interactions of design process. The aim of the present session is to make you to understand the concept of phases and interactions of design process. And coming to the phases, every design process has to go through these 6 different process steps. The first one is the identification of the need, second one is the definition of problem, third one is the synthesis, fourth one is the analysis and optimization, fifth one is the evaluation, sixth one is the presentation. If you see here, from the first step to second step it is coming, and second to third is coming, and from the third again it is going to the first one. Okay, and from the third it is going to, from the sixth again it is coming to third, okay, and second it is going to first. That means all the 6 processes are like iteratives. For example, if anything we have to modify in the fourth step, for example we are designing some product for weight reduction. If that parameter is meeting that criteria, then it's okay. Otherwise we have to go here and then we have to modify our problem, or we have to define what is our requirement. So it will be like all these 6 steps are like iterative from this, all for the first 5 iterative steps. So now we will discuss step by step what do you mean by like each step and how all these steps are interlinked. So now coming to the first step, what is the first step? The first step is the identification of need. That means why we are doing a design, for which purpose we are doing, the need of the customer we have to identify, because without the need, if you do any design or if you create a product, it is of no use. For example, you have designed a very good product but no one requires that product, that means it indicates it is of no use. So before starting the design we have to identify what is the need for the design. For example, if I am creating or if I am designing a industrial product, then whatever industrial product I am designing, that industry persons will give me what is their requirement. That means they will define their requirement. For example, if I am doing or if I am working in a startup company, then it is my responsibility to identify the need of the different customers. So how I will identify the need of the customers? I will conduct a survey. Okay, I will take the data from the different spreadsheets, different opinions I will take the customers on the existing one. If any drawback or any gap is there in the existing ones, then I will consider that as the need of the customer. So it is the prime important to identify the need of the customers. That customer can be anyone who required that product. So that is the first step we have to do in the designing process. So what is the first step? First step is to identification of the need. Okay. Then coming to the definition of the problem. What do you mean by definition of the problem? It clearly defining. You have to define your problem. That means a design engineer has to think that he is the customer who is using that product. So that means the designer has to step into the shoes of the customer and he should think like a customer. Then only he will understand the exact definition of the problem. For example, if we consider the chair design, see here there is one chair. Just now only we have seen the design of the chair is evolved. From years it is changing into the different forms. For example, I am talking about the designing of a new chair. Then the first question I should ask, okay, there are so many number of chairs existing in the market. So which kind of chair I required? Whether such kind of chair is there in the present market or not. If not, then what is my requirement? Okay, how come, what is the height I need for the chair? What is the height adjustment? What is the material I need? What is the comfort level I am expecting in that chair? So like that everything we have to define clearly. So if you ask 5 times why question or minimum 3 times why question, for example, I need to design a chair, then why? I don't have existing, I don't have comfortability in the existing chairs. Then okay, then why? What do you mean by comfortability? Whether you want to use the cushioning effect, or you want height adjustment, or whether you want to move, or what is mean by comfortability, you have to define. So let's say he defined the cushioning effect. Okay, so already existing chairs are there with some cushioning effect. Okay, still you want better cushioning than that, what is the percentage expecting betterment with existing, like that you have to question why. So like that 5 times if you ask the customer, then you will get the actual definition of the problem. If you simply say the definition of the problem is designing of the chair, means it is of no use, because you should understand what is the exact requirement of the customer. That is why the first step is identification of the need of the customer, and the second step is you have to define the problem clearly. Okay? So that is the second step. Then the third step is you have to do the synthesis. In this synthesis step, what we have to do, for the defined problem you have to think different possible solutions. While searching for the different possible solutions, you have to take the opinions of the different customers, different people involved in your team. You have to conduct brainstorming sessions, you have to conduct focus study interviews, you have to consider all the ideas given in the brainstorming session. You should not eliminate any idea in this session, because you do not know which idea will create which solution. So you have to consider all the ideas, then you have to further discuss, then at the end you have to come up with some of the possible solutions. So you have to conduct a focus study group interviews, brainstorming session, then you have to discuss each and every parameters based on your definition of the problem. For example, your definition of the problem involves 3 to 4 parameters, then you have to think, you have to design your solutions to satisfy all those 4 to 5 parameters. Then only that can be considered as one of the options. For example, if you are designing solution to meet only one of the criteria, means that cannot be called as a design for that problem. So while synthesis, while doing the different possible solutions, you have to consider all the design requirements, all the needs of the customer. So that should be done in the third step, that is in the synthesis step. If while doing this synthesis step, what we have to do, you have to clearly understand the first step and second step requirements. That is why in the first slide we have seen all these processes are the iterative processes. Okay. So now coming to the fourth step, what is the fourth step? The fourth step is the analysis and optimization. So for example, in the previous step you have come up with the 2 different solutions, or let us say with a single solution only we came. So for that solutions we have to do the analysis, that means whatever the dimensions, whatever the shape, whatever the size, whatever the form I have considered, whether all those parameters are correct or not. If I take that one, that will satisfy the function of the my product or not, whether I have to do any optimization to satisfy my functional requirements. So all those things I have to consider in the fourth step. That is why the fourth step involves the analysis and optimization for the solutions that we considered in the previous step. And in this step we have to consider the how many resources required, and we have to do also the optimization for those parameters. Like this we have to do the parametric analysis also here. So coming to the fifth step, what is the fifth step here? The fifth step is the evaluation. That means we have to evaluate the previous step. Whatever the designs we have done earlier, we have to do the evaluation for that. So that is why I told all the steps are iterative processes. If anything is not meeting our criteria, for example, if some parameter is not meeting our expectation, then again we have to go back to the previous phase, and then we have to repeat that process by changing that required parameters. We should not change the need and definition of the problem. We have to change the third or fourth step if it is not meeting the customer's requirement. Once the customer requirement and definition of the problem is fixed, then we have to adhere to it. Based on that only we have to change our designs, our parameters, all the optimization calculations based on that. Okay. So, that is why the evaluation also should be iterative process. In the first step, if you are not getting the proper design, then you modify some of the parameters, then again you do the analysis and optimization, then you may meet that customer requirement. Then the sixth one is at the end, once after reaching your proper design or correct design, then you have to present that design to the target audience. The target audience may be your customer or shop floor members, because shop floor members are the one who will manufacture your design or your component. They should understand, they should know what is the exact design, because sometimes you may say this is the dimension of the product and this is the my constraints. Let us say for example, the diameter of the shaft you mentioned in the design 10 mm, but sometimes the exact manufacturing of the shaft with the 10 mm might not be possible. So, it may be 10.01 mm or 9.9 mm. So, whether that 10.01 or 9.99 mm, is it possible or not, you have to present it to the your target audience. For example, if you say 10.01 or 10.1 are also allowable for 10 mm diameter, means whenever they are manufacturing they will ensure yes, this product or this length of the shaft should be within 10 or plus or minus 0.1 mm. If it is meeting that criteria, then only they will pass that product to the next step, otherwise he will reject that product there itself. So, that is why it is also much important that whatever design parameters you have explained, that design parameters definitely should be understood by your target audience or shop floor members, because here we have to give the clear drawings, detailed drawings, then only the shop floor person can proceed for the physical product of that component. So, coming to the some of the case studies involved using all these 6 design processes. Let us say for example, design a robot to control the traffic at our spot. So, this is my problem. So, here I have a traffic hotspot, that means at one 4 road junction there is always the road is busy. So, I need to design a robot which can control the traffic. So, for that first this is my requirement need. Then what design engineer has to do? He has to clearly define the robot, define the problem. So, design a robot I told. So, which kind of robot he want, where do he want to control the traffic. So, at what time the traffic is more, whether morning time or evening time or afternoon time. So, all the 4 roads are connecting here. So, at what time the more rush is there. So, how can I convert or how can I divert the traffic. So, like that he had to clearly define his problem. Based on his definition of the problem, he has to try for different solutions, and from the different solutions he had to identify the suitable solution, and that suitable solution should be explained to the traffic constable, because he is the one who will control or who will manage this designing, or he will operate this robot and all. So, unless he understood everything clearly, it cannot be called as a good design. Okay. So, these are the different situations can be considered for new designing or the development design, and these are the references and textbooks for further learning. Thank you.